Rich, in a previous discussion, we talked about what's working for companies and helping them to restructure as we rebuild this economy. You mentioned design, cost, speed, and service all being keys to success for these companies.
And sales would be a fifth. Well, let me give you 5 more. Logistics and supply chains are really important. In fact, if you look across industries, usually an industry leader is also the supply chain leader in its industry. If you looked at Walmart's ascent over Sears and Kmart and all the other low-cost sellers in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, what allowed Walmart to leapfrog ahead of them was a superior supply chain. They figured out the power of the barcode scanner and the mainframe computer and the information that could be captured and then used to stock shelves at stores in different ways to meet customer needs. Now what's happening in the supply chain is all kinds of technological changes. You have RFID chips that are replacing barcodes. You have cloud computing, you have 4G mobility, and you have changing cost structures around the world. Oil costs are going up, which means that transportation costs are going up, which means that maybe sourcing in a different part of the world won't be so cost effective going forward. You have different salary structures and wage structures as emerging economies move up the success ladder, so they become relatively more expensive. So the company that configure and keep reconfiguring their supply chain and sourcing channels due to changing circumstances will have a tremendous advantage.
And what about analytics?
Analytics is an explosively growing business right now. Being able to find out where profit is, who are your profitable customers, being able to anticipate trends before they become obvious, being able to look at a customer and from the data determine whether that customer may be walking out. These are tremendously valuable sources of information. So becoming good at deeper analytics is another big advantage in today's economy. Another source of advantage today is how you communicate to your own employees. I'm talking to large enterprises right now that are thinking about doing daily newspapers downloaded to tablet computers so that their employees can keep up all that's going on.
That's right. Just recently we talked with Phil McKinney, the CTO of HP, and he was saying that he has job candidates coming in and actually asking him, do you have the tools that I need so I can work here and do my job?
This is a growing trend, Kim. The most talented people, the most forward-looking people are going to ask those questions while they're interviewing your company. They're going to want to have the best tools, and they're going to want to be informed, which is why communication inside a company is so vitally important. People don't want to be on the outside. They want to be part of an organization, and that's how they can be effective.
But what about outside communication?
Well, outside communication, boy, is that changing. How you do on social media becomes vitally important. We're so in the early days of this that consumers discovered social media. Companies are kind of clumsily getting into social media, and you see a lot of bad examples, but companies that can get this right, in addition to traditional marketing, will do very well.
Twitter, Facebook, even Salesforce Chatter.
Yeah, but they come with risks. I mean, the tragedy of the Aflac duck.
Hope he has that insurance.
Aflac! The voice of the Aflac duck made an off-color joke and lost his gig as the Aflac duck, which would be hard to do. It was an $800,000 a year gig, and it couldn't have been that hard, and he managed to lose it. But how you balance spontaneity and authenticity with some kind of discipline, so you're staying on the corporate message, is the art that a lot of corporations are going to have to learn.
And what about branding?
Branding. The best thing I ever heard about branding is once when I asked Helmut Panke, who was the CEO and chairman of BMW a few years ago, and I asked about branding because BMW has a great brand. And he closed his eyes and he said, I want to be able to blindfold someone, put them in the back of a BMW, drive them around the block, and have them tell by all their other senses that they're in a BMW.
Wow.
And what he was talking about is a three-dimensional brand. And you see, this is what overlaps with social media today. It's so important for brands to be three-dimensional so that wherever a customer looks, the brand promise is met. Because if it's not met, they're on Facebook or Twitter or a million other opportunities right now to tell the world that this is a false brand.
Right.
So a 3D brand is an authentic brand.
And bonus, how about purpose?
Bonus is purpose. It's a great time to have a company that's seen by employees and seen by customers and seen by investors is out there doing the right thing. Behaving ethically, going the extra mile, doing what they said they would do, trying to make the world better, because there's such distrust today. There's never, since the recession, people's trust for institutions, both private and governmental, is at an all-time low. So just for your own self-interest in terms of having great customers, having great employees, having loyal employees, having recruiting advantages, being the company that is seen as the moral player, the company that is out there operating with a sense of purpose, is a huge advantage right now.